My name's Tony Sherry. I'm one of the partners here at Otway Estate Winery and Brewery. We're 2.25 hours southwest of Melbourne, driving time. And about 10 years ago, we wanted to try and attract more people to the property and the cellar door, so we introduced the brewery and a function centre. And on the beers, we have a very extensive range going. As mentioned, we do a light beer, which is a good full flavoured light beer. Summer ale, we've got Chainsaw, which is an Australian wheat style, good cleansing ale. Another beer which we do is the spotted ale. There's a little animal called the spotted tiger quoll, which is only extinct down around Cape Otway. So there's a conservation ecology centre set up to help save the little guy, and profits from the spotted ale that we sell go towards that conservation ecology centre.
The brewing process here at Prickly Moses, one of the unique attributes of all our beers is all made with and brewed with rainwater, and then the other ingredients we use in brewing just for malts, hops and yeast, as well as water. No preservatives, no chemicals or no processing aids, so a real natural sort of a product. Milling is the first step in the brewing process, in where the malt husk is cracked and then allows it to open up, which we then want to extract the sugars from the grain, which we later on ferment. The mash is a way of extracting out the sugars from the malt in a liquid form. It's almost like making a porridge. So we try and dilute the sugars out, and then that goes into the next step of the brewery, which is the kettle and the boiling process. It takes about an hour in the boil, and that's just a way of killing any bugs or anything that might have come through in the malt. And it's also at that time we add the lovely floral ingredient being the hops. All round, to get it into the bottle, yeah, it's about another 2 weeks of sitting in these fermenters and then going into the bottle.
There's growth in the craft beer market, but then there's a huge growth in the competition in the market. So I think just recently there was probably figures out that suggest that throughout Australia there's now about 500. They're not necessarily everybody's got an actual microbrewery. As I said, there's contract brewing going on, so people think they're going to sell their beer, so they just come up with a name. I think there was even a Bob Hawke's lager come out not long ago, so everyone's just thinking, oh, we'll just make a beer and start selling it. So of course that does make the market very competitive. We're already currently got a small amount of product going into northern China, which is a place called Dalian. There's certainly opportunities. It's a very large market over there, but then once again there's a lot of competition from a lot of other countries and locally, and there seems to be a few other local craft breweries in Hong Kong setting up, also maybe to a lesser degree in Shanghai. Just speaking to different people over there, that the craft beer is slowly growing. The peddling crank was a great label in that it's slang for bank. The ANZ have had a market day, so back in March I believe that was on. We were fortunate to be one of the producers to be invited along to that. And there were some drinks afterwards, I believe, for some of the ANZ staff, and one of those was the actual CEO, Shane Elliott, and Andrew got chatting to Shane, and Shane said, oh, we should have a beer for our corporate functions. And of course Andrew was straight on to that and said, yeah, that's something we can certainly help you with.